Hello, everybody. Kashwetala Pinshnuknukwa. Inchasham Halsa in Hoiston Muscan Timurat Oosh Muscan Shtlian. The role that Indigenous knowledge has played in my life is very, very big in my life because of where I'm at and how I've become here. I know that it's guided me to be proud to be Shtlim. It's guided me to be proud of being where I'm at and where I'm from and where I'm headed to. And because of that pride, because of that knowledge, that's part of what I push in my classes, my classrooms. I teach for a base for our kids, for my students, who they are, where they're from, and how to say it in our language, and how to be proud of their family roots and their friends and their where they're from within the territory, or whether or not they're Shtetlim or not. The inspirational people in my life and what they taught me, biggest one, a lot of you in my class know, my brother, my big brother Dave, Huaypaposh, in him being proud of himself and where he's come from and figuring out who he was sure allowed for me to look at who I am and figure out where I'm gonna go and how I'm gonna use that to get there. And that's what I've been doing. I'm never doubted it for a minute. And that pride, that strong pride is imminent. A story that I've heard that teaches values. I've been using the flood story quite a bit in school, and it teaches about where we come from and as Shletim, and where our people, how our people are all related in one way or another, as well as teaches our kids how to be prepared to utilize what we've got on the land and to listen to what we're told so that we do what we're told and so that we share what we're told to share with the people, and we do this in a good way. And our flood story is very strong about who I am and where I come from. I've heard it many years throughout my life. As a child, I cannot remember who the first person was that told me that story, but it's such a beautiful story. I want to be able to tell it in better detail. I also want to be able to tell it in our language, and that's my goal, part of my goal. My Indigenous knowledge journey from where I'm at now compared to where I want to be is I want to be able to lead. I want to be able to lead my students to be proud of who they are and where they come from, and not to be afraid of those boundaries, to push their own boundaries and to be strong enough to know when not to, as well as do so with a strong language base, as well as cultural history base. This is what I want to do. What I want to learn is I want to become more fluent in my own language, in Shtetlimchich. And part of that journey is going to be visiting with the elders. And I'm going to have to do so as much as possible because they're disappearing so quickly. Knock on wood, that no more happens for a long time. And learn as much as possible, as quick as possible, and as strong and faithful as possible. How how I can learn the language is through visiting the elders, practicing, and listening to the language, and continuing with it, being strong in such as a teacher for it. My our elders, our Sh'eklim elders, we've got a number in Lillooet, in Pavilion, in Chaklip, in Leetwat. We've got a number as well that I can learn from, that I want to learn from. I want to be able to learn from them. Any chance I get, I'll be able to want to learn from them. Any chance I get. Wow. Thanks for this assignment. My first steps are to make some time and take advantage of that, what little time we've got with each of these elders, so that I can learn in a better way, so that I can learn to be a better teacher, a better teacher, this way for our students, for our people. And this step, first step is making that time and making sure that that time's going to be there, and to utilize the time in the best way I know how. I'm not a product of the residential school, but I'm a product of the kids that went. Both my parents went, my oldest sister, and it stopped there. And they didn't. My dad spoke a bit of the language. My grandmother came home. She went to the residential school as well, but retained her language, her knowledge of Sh'eklimchich, and was able to teach it, was able to put it into book form, into dictionary form, for everybody, for all of us. Not only Sh'eklimch, but for the rest of the world to see, for the rest of the world to learn. And I'm very grateful for that. My grandmother Irene Alexander Terry, my brother Dave Terry, two big people in my life that have guided me and continue to guide me. And I'm very grateful for them. Kukstum Ushkalap, Kukstum Kauch. Oh, we mash.